exhale, there's a space for clearing. The more I exhale, the more I clear. If you think about it, not really expressing our fullest exhalation when we're sitting in a desk, driving in a car, taking up residency on an airplane like Samuel does. There isn't a lot of space. We don't exhale much, then we don't have a lot of room to take in a breath. And if we don't exhale much, then we don't clear. And because we don't clear, our energy gets very stagnant or stuck, weighed down, heavier. So you just clear everything you have out this evening, and we'll add some movement to it. And you just recognize the job for you is the exhales, and the inhales will pretty much take care of themselves on your behalf. Use your next exhalation to wrap the hands around the shins and squeeze your thighs into your chest. And with your thighs squeezing into your chest, use all the exhale, move that all through, and the thighs come closer to the chest. Then when you breathe in, leave a little space between the upper and the lower. Now when you move that air out, the legs automatically, organically come closer. Why? Because you've really moved out what would be in the way. Take yourself, while you're still on your back, take yourself through rocking side to side. Now, rocking side to side, close your eyes. And just listen to your breathing. Allow your breathing to move you in a way that just nurtures your spine. Your rocking is nurturing your spine. And you'll start to recognize that rocking, this rocking motion, also starts to nurture the nervous system. So you don't want to do it in a drive-through kind of way, like you're in a big yank and there's a line behind you. You want to just take your time. You want to ease into your practice and build into it rather than just full bore right at the start. Just feel what it is to just side to side with your eyes closed so your focus goes inside you. The more you breathe, the more your attention is drawn inward. Poses by themselves can't do that. Even a forward fold. If your mind is just so scattered and so out there, the breathing helps pull you in to yourself. But it gives you the opportunity to access something that is not really your personality self. It's bigger. It's a bigger version of you residing underneath that. Rock yourself on up to flat feet. And while you're sitting, go ahead and sit cross-legged. Right leg usually will fold in first. And I want you to just take your right hand to the floor. And to your right side. And I want you to literally press the floor away from you a little bit. Use your inhale to lengthen through the left side. Bend your right elbow and use your exhalation to soften into the lean. Longer, slower breath in. And just let it all go through. Lengthen your upper fingertips a little more and gently press the right side of the room away from you with the right hand. While your hips are kind of bolted to the floor, like your seat is bolted. Switch sides. Find that action of the left hand gently pressing the left floor away from you. Long reach up and close your eyes. Bring your focus to your breathing in. Notice how it gives you big stretch through the sideways. More than the pose itself can do for you. And then let your exhale take you into a lean, more than you would be able to do, forcing it. Be in a space of allowing the exhale to pass through which allows you to move into some more territory of your own body. Breath in, lots of length. Empty the breath out for a little more lean. Fall into the left side like you're just letting go. Bring yourself back up. Take both hands, both fingertips of both hands to the floor behind you. Press the floor away from you a little bit and press your chest into the ceiling. Feel as though your chest is trying to lift up out of your shoulders. Move the shoulders away to create room. Come forward. Come on up to sitting. Interlace your fingers above you. Press your palms to the ceiling and keep your hips bolted down. Draw the arms back. Hug both elbows toward the sides of your head. Now, release your arms. Take your breath in. So you feel how it lengthens your spine. It forces you to stand up straighter or sit up straighter. Use your exhale. Lead with your navel, but lean forward into a stretch where your fingertips are on the floor ahead of you. And it doesn't matter how far you're going to go. In fact, you don't even want to go that far. You just got started, so cut yourself some slack. Just feel your body. Just feel your body and feel your limitation. If you don't know your limitation, then you could get injured, right? So you got to know your own boundaries. And the practice can really teach us that. It emphasizes that. Listen to the sensation of the body and honor it. And by sensation, all I mean is feeling. That's how the body speaks to us, by feeling. And yoga is a powerful way to get out from underneath our mental earth to listen to something more residing within us all. Now, come on back up and interlace your fingers right at your chest, facing your chest, okay? Spin your arms, or straighten them, and spin your hands right out. Please tuck your chin into your chest and press your upper mid-back away from you. Really good. Upper mid-back presses like it's pressing into the back wall, and that your force into the back wall will push the wall out into the driveway. And then go ahead and release the arms. The right hand resides outside the left knee, or left hand, outside the right knee. Right hand to the floor behind you. Long breath in, get your spine to sit up nice, merry. Use your exhale to soften into a little twist. No big movements and no force. Be in a space of allowing. And recognize where you are stuck, where you literally can't get your physical body to go any further. That's where you exhale out. And then suddenly there's just a little wiggle room, even in your tight areas. There you go, which will also free up the upper and mid-chest. You release the congestion in the upper mid-back, you'll free up your lungs in the front. That's how it works. Okay, switch sides. Very mindfully, though. Keep your breath with you so you can keep your deeper focus. Close your eyes so you can go inward and really explore. Explore where there's movement, and explore where you're rigid. And soften into the rigidness. And the ego mind will not want to. The ego mind says, I don't want it, I want out. And I understand that really well. Just be willing to soften through the exhalation, and suddenly that rigidness, that resistance, starts to just loosen up a bit. And a tremendous surge of breathing is given to you in that space. Come on back to center. Let's stretch out the neck a little bit. Your left arm goes up. You bend the left elbow. You take the left hand. And you draw the head toward the left shoulder. Now, the right finger pads are brought to the right shoulder. And as you draw the head away from the right shoulder, is gently moving toward the floor. So there's lots of space, and then you breathe into that space and then soften through the exhalation. Breath in, letting go. Breath in, letting go. Really good. One more easy, slow breath in. Let it all fall through. And then pick your head up slowly. Other side. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, the right elbow bends. The palm draws that your head, your left ear, toward the right shoulder. Finger pads of the left hand. Gently draw the left shoulder head down. Bring your focus to the space between your neck and your left shoulder. And you keep drawing the head away. Perhaps just give a little bit of resistance of your head into your upper hand. Not a lot. You don't need a lot. You really don't. Breathing in, letting it go. And when you let the breath go, let it go to the bottom of your lungs. And then inhale to the top of the lungs, right under your collarbones, and letting it all pass through. Release. One more. Interlace your hands right at the back of your head. Gently press your chin towards your chest. Give a little resistance of the head, the back of the head, into the palms. And you should get all this great length from your neck and all the space between your earlobes and your shoulders, all the nooks and crannies. So we go toward the rigid areas, we go to the stuck areas, or we never get unstuck. We don't get unstuck by going around them, the periphery. We get unstuck by going to the heart and pulse of our physical tension. Release. And find your way onto all fours. Hands will be shoulder width apart. Knees are hip width apart. Feet are hip width apart. You want to line your shoulders and elbows and wrists all with each other. Good. And then I want you to tilt your tailbone toward the ceiling. So your belly sinks toward the floor. And then I want you to use your exhale to round your back. Consciously press your chin to your chest. Mindfully suck the belly right up in against the spine. Mindfully lengthen your low back towards your heels. Drop your belly, breath in, breath out, rounding like an angry cat. If you straighten your arms, and if you press your arms straight and hands straight through the floor, if you take your hands a little more back here, that'll give you extra leverage into you pressing the upper back into the ceiling while you drive the hands and arms into the floor. Now just take a few of those on your own. Take a few of those on your own. Eyes can close. And just take 2 or 3 more. Because like when did your spine get that kind of attention? Unless you've already done a yoga class before this evening. When has your spine gotten this kind of attention from you? And so when we give our bodies attention in a really nurturing and I'm interested kind of way, they thrive. Now go ahead and look over your right shoulder while your right shoulder, right hip curl in toward each other. And swing your hips and then look over to the left shoulder while the left shoulder and the left hip kind of curl toward each other. Staying with the breath. Let it all pass through. Come to center. Press your way into downward dog. Literally pressing your hips and thighs back. Now pick your hips up very high toward the ceiling. Now use your breath out to press your hips back. Feel your hips get really lifted like they're going to launch. And use your exhalation to press your hips and heels down. See, if you press the hips back, the heels drop too. Taking your right leg to the ceiling on the inhalation. Take it up higher than you think it can go. And press the upper right heel like it's against a wall. And use your exhalation to slowly take the right leg down. Left side. Use your inhale to launch the leg up. Press through the left heel. Exhale it to the floor. Walk yourself up. Take your time. Building into flow. Separate your feet out hip width apart. And take your hands to your outer shins. Your hands to your outer shins. And I want you to press your outer shins into your hands. And I want you to press your hips to the back of the room. Pull your lower belly in and up. Lift your chest up a little bit and slide your shoulders down towards your hips. Keep pressing, pressing, pressing your outer shins into your hands. Feet press into the floor. Now take your hands to both hips. Cinch your elbows in. So just wrap your elbows in to the sides of your body. Bend your knees more and feel the shoulder blades squeeze, squeeze, squeeze into each other. Stay breathing. Look right out ahead of you on the floor, just a little bit ahead of you. Squeeze the shoulder blades more. Press straight up into stand. Take your hands to your low back. Press your hips and thighs forward. Feel your heart lift into the ceiling. Shoulders, move them down. Shoulder blades hug to the mid-spine. Come back to stand. Arms rest. Long breath in. Sweep up. Palms meet at the heart. Forward fold. Use your exhalation, your fullest exhalation to fold. Knees deeply bent. Place your palms right on your knees or shins. Lift your chest halfway up. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. And use your exhalation to slide your hands down to your lower legs. Plug your ankles like you're pressing them into their sockets. From here, with your hands on your legs, pull your chest up away from the floor. Pull the spine and chest forward. Use a soft breath out to softly fold in. Sweep all the way up to stand, but the inhale takes you up. And the out breath folds you for you. Halfway lift, breath in. Hands to the floor. Shoulder width apart. Pause. Pause, Jim. Pause. Right foot steps back. Right heel presses like it's pushing against a wall. The right toes face the front of the room. Yes, good, Maddie. Now firm your right thigh. Now pull in the belly. Lift your left foot and step back with the left foot. Push strongly, firmly through the heels of the feet to engage your legs. Shoulders are coming forward right over the wrists. And you're going to drop your hips slightly. That's it. Now you're going to breathe right where you are. You're going to let a full round of breath come in and go out. as a way to really harness your mind to know like you can do this. Look ahead of you. Full breath in. Please rock forward on the balls of your feet. Breathe out, lower halfway. Breath coming in for an up-facing dog or a half cobra. Move your shoulders out of the way. Downward dog. Get the exhale out now. Take a breath in. Free and clear. Breathing in. Free and clear. And clear means get the air out. Let your head really drop and land your gaze between your feet. Take a full breath in. Out. Look ahead. Your eyes land between your thumbs. Your belly pulls in. You walk or hop, feet to your hands. You lift halfway up, palms to the knees or shins. You send your hips back, and you keep the chest lifted. Then you tuck your chin to your chest slightly so that your neck has more length. Lower it a little more. Yeah. And yet you don't want your head to collapse like a heavy bowling ball that's just gone awry. You want to pick up your head a little more, Joe? There you go. Shoulders. Nice. Fold forward, everybody. Have your hands to your legs like they're glued there. But lift your chest up and away. And then fold again. Press the feet into the floor. Bend the knees. Tuck the chin in. Push your feet to the floor as you come to stand. Forward fold. Empty everything. Halfway up. Breath comes in. Breath moves out, stepping to a plank position. Shoulders over the wrist. And if you decide, oh man, my knees need to come down, that's absolutely fine, even if you typically do high to low. You want to make this practice not what you did the last practice, and not the practice you're going to do after this one. You want to be here now. So get breathing, and you'll get a sense of what you're doing based on how you're feeling. Rock forward, lower down. Elbows hug to the sides. Lift the chest. Move the shoulders out of the way. Downward dog. Send your hips and thighs back. Drop your skull. Literally drop it. Breathe in. Let go. Look forward. Belly in. Hop, crawl, launch. Feet to your hands. Halfway in breath. Forward fold. Breath out. Bring yourself all the way up. Fingertips get longer. Forward fold. Heart to the thighs. Chin to the chest. Listen to a slow breath in. Lift you halfway up. Listen to the exhalation get you to push up. Shoulders over the wrist. Look ahead. Look ahead. Rock forward. Bend the elbows straight back toward the driveway, but hug them to the sides. Nice. Up facing. Feet press down. Then downward dog. But get the exhale out so when you land in down dog, you're really cleared out with the breath, mostly. Take your breath to the top of your lungs. Channel it right through. Like let it steamroll right out. You're not in the way of it by thinking about it. Get out of your thoughts. Breathe instead. In. Out. Feet to hands. However you get there. Halfway up. Empty as you fold in. Fill up. Let your lungs be inflated with air. Big air. Fold in. Send all the air out. Follow the rhythm of an inhale, halfway lifting. Follow the exhalation to get you to a plank position. In high push-up, you need air. In low push-up, send the air out. Nice, you guys. Fill yourself up, upward dog, feet press, palms press. Send the air out now, press back. Listen to you, inhale. Listen to you, exhale. If you can't listen to you, then you'll really struggle to deeply listen to anything, to anyone around you. So let your breathing get you to listen deeply to you. Not where your personality self has commentary on every little thought. Write all that out. Write all that excessive thought out that's not serving by breathing bigger. Breathe it all out. Feet to your hands. Halfway up. Fold forward. All the way up to stand. Spine gets longer. Feet stay grounded though. Fold forward. Feet stay grounded. The breathing out channels you and your attention to go inward. Halfway up. Send the air out. Pull in the belly. High to low push up. Remember, the exhalation is where you really clear the air. Nice, Jim. Upward dog. Really take the air into the lungs. Send it out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All you've got. Walk, feet to your hands. Halfway up. Forward fold. Rise up. All of it out. Fold. Follow your breath in, halfway up, lengthening the spine, belly in. Step to plank position. The belly's already in, supporting your spine. Low plank position, the belly pulled in. Upward dog. Your eyes land on one place in front of you. Pause. Now slowly press yourself back. Breath goes in. You send the air to the bottom of your lungs. Make the breath out long and slow. Then the inhale comes in, not in a big yank. Less panic for the mind. Less overwhelm, all that. As we smooth out the breathing, and we bring more balance to the length of an inhale and the length of the exhale, we smooth out the mind. Not just the spine, but the mind. Good. Walk on up, feet to your hands. Flat back. Fold in. Rise up. Fold in. Halfway. High to low. Don't worry what it looks like. Get so into your breath that you forget about what you look like. Upward dog. Downward facing. Right foot's going to step forward. Your back foot's going to press flat. So grab your ankle if you need to. Hike your foot up there, whatever it's going to take. But get your front knee right over your heel. Your back foot flat. Bring your fingertips to the floor. You're on your fingertips. And I want you to find right away your back foot. So literally drop your gaze down to look at your back foot. Press the outer edge of the back foot like you're pushing it against a wall. Firm your back thigh. Pull your right hip back a little bit. Typically, your right butt cheek will stick out to the side of the room. Just draw the butt cheek in. Knee over the ankle. Push both feet into the floor, hands on the hips. Inhale on up to stand. Arms go straight up. Fingertips get longer. Feet get deeper, more deeply rooted to the floor. Press the right knee open. And your eyes land eye level in front of you. And as much as you can, mouth closed. Inhale where the throat muscles will naturally contract. Tongue behind the two front teeth. And the out breath, the throat muscles soften. So it's as if you were breathing right there at the center of your throat. In and out through the nose, but more powerful when it comes from a base. Full breath in, full breath out. Take your breath in, out, in, reaching up and then bending back. The out breath facilitates a back bend. In breath and the out breath brings the hands to plank position, slowly lowering you with the out breath. Upward, downward dog. Keep your knees bent in down dog, but spin your tailbone toward the ceiling. So your hips literally start lifting a little bit away from the hamstrings while the heels stay moving toward the floor. They don't have to be flat. Now, take a breath in. Relax it. Left foot steps forward. Back foot presses flat. Hands go on the hips. And if you can this time, just get aware. Is my front knee over my ankle? Is my left knee pressing to the little toe edge of my own left foot? Then, is my left butt cheek sticking out to the side? If so, draw it back. Press both feet to the floor, rise on up. Now this time, hands stay on the hips. Eyes land eye level, but soften the gaze. You're going to straighten your front leg. You're actually going to straighten it completely. Yeah. And you're going to bring mindfulness to your low back, to your tailbone, and you're going to lengthen your tailbone towards your back heel. Typically, your low back will be sticking out. So we want to find where we iron out the spine from the tail end, literally. And when you find that tailbone dropping down, then put the bend in your left knee again. Press the left knee open. And notice if you really can't go as deeply because you feel very tight in your back hip flexor. That's exactly where you needed to get into this. Breathe in, breathe out. I feel that the breathing empowers our mind to go towards these areas where we typically say, I'm not hanging out here. I'm not holding these poses where I'm very tight and locked up. It doesn't feel good. So it makes us edgy. And the breathing settles the mind. And it creates a little bit of possibility even at your edge. Inhale the arms straight up. Bend your left knee a little more. Go in a little bit deeper. Squeeze your back leg. Stay rooted, earthy in your back foot and your back leg. So then you reach up and you bend back and you haven't lost connection to your roots, which is your feet and your breath. Return, hands to the ground. High push up. Lower. Upward. Press the chest forward. Move the shoulders. Press the shoulders back. Downward dog. Right foot stepping forward. Gently take your back knee to the floor. Onto the top of the back foot. Keep the right knee over the ankle. Set the blocks up inside your front foot. Your bottom hand's on the block. You're going to take your right thumb to your right hip, right in the crease. You're going to peel it back. And this time I want you to now take your left arm outside your right leg. And I want you to kind of press with that arm so it really pulls your torso up and creates a twist. Then you could extend the right hand straight up in the air if you wanted. You want to make sure your front foot comes a little bit more forward. Yeah. Yeah, and then turn your heel out slightly. Yeah, great. Now, press this knee open. Yeah, so literally press the knee into the back of the arm. Feel your torso lift up. Use your breath out to create that twist. When you hold the breath, you're going to have to work much harder in the pose, but then you don't free yourself much either. So don't hold the breath. Let it go. Let it go. Press that right thigh against the back of the arm a little bit more. Feel the inhale. Really stretch your spine. And feel the out breath soften you. Very good. Bring your hands to the floor. Set the blocks aside. Downward dog. Rock forward, high to low. Breath moving you from high push-up to low push-up. Slow breath drawn in. Take the air into your own lungs. Send the air out. Press back. Nice. Step your left foot forward. Same action. You want to line the knee right over your left ankle or heel. Bring the back knee down. Top of the back foot rests. And you're going to take your right arm outside your left thigh. Now really be aware, if your chest is compressed, you lift it up. You lift it up. Like literally beam yourself up. And on the out breath, free yourself from the rigidness that's really in the mid back. So if you feel like, wow, I can't really move much, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So just work on softening the exhalations, and before you know it, the place you couldn't budge moves for you. Not by you resisting, not by you getting frustrated, but by you giving up. By you giving up. Surrender the breath as a source of power. Give you access to something you can't reach otherwise. Press that left thigh against the arm a little more. Bring your awareness to your breath again. Am I breathing? Am I holding the breath? Release. Release. High push-up to low or meet in down dog. Let everyone else go through their run. And you say, I'll meet you in down dog. You got to create your practice. Which doesn't mean that everyone else is doing a certain pose and you're off doing handstands on the other side of the room. There's still this sense of you're part of something, so be part of the group. But you have to have some space to create a practice that feels like it's yours. Not the normal brand of anyone else. Come to your knees for a second. If you need a drink, please hydrate. But don't chug your water, just sip it. Do you have water, Sam? Okay. When you're all set, come back up onto your hands and knees. Take your right foot to the floor behind you, so you're on the ball of the right foot. Squeeze up your right thigh and press your right heel toward the floor in that direction. Look over your left shoulder. Right leg crosses behind your left leg. You're looking over your left shoulder so you get lots of awesome stretch through the right side. Breathe into the stretch to create length for more stretch and releasing the stretch. Press through that heel. Come on back. Other side. You're on the ball of the left foot. You press really strongly through the left heel. Your left thigh firms up. And you notice if I just press into my back heel, my thigh just gets engaged. Like I do one thing and boy, it creates a ripple effect of more power to me in these places I also need. Take your left leg, cross it behind your right. Press your left heel toward the floor. And wherever you feel I can't breathe, that's where you always will exhale first. In with the breath. Out. In. Out. Release. Downward dog. Breath in. Breath out. Right knee bending, left heel straightening. Switch sides. Let yourself just bicycle it out for a little bit. Full focus stays on your legs and feet. One side, full attention on the right side, full attention just lands on the left side. And a way to keep your attention on what you're doing is breathing. Otherwise, tendency to stop breathing and then we just start checking out in our head. Your breathing keeps you plugged back in to your movements. And that's how you feel like, yes, I was at yoga. I felt it. Rather than just the mind knowing you went to yoga. Walk, feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold with your hands wrapping around either the backs of your thighs, knees, calves. Wherever you put your arms, now lift your chest and spine firmly up, up, and away from the floor. Use your out breath to fold in. Knees can still be bent. Feet root down though. Bring your hands to your hips. Come on up. Interlace your fingers over your head again. And press your arms back. Press your hips and thighs forward. Release the arms to a little below shoulder level. Okay? Now, feel the difference. It's very subtle. But that's what you want. You want to tune in and know the subtlety as a powerful thing. You want to lift your shoulders up just slightly. And you notice how the arms went up. And then I want you to use your exhalation to let your arms down just like a ½ inch. And do you notice how the shoulders went back onto the back where they belong? Yes or no? Now lift your shoulders up near your ears. We drive like this. We talk on the phone like this. We type like that. But you get into yoga and you start really feeling, wow, my habits are creating some of my physical distress. So I'm just getting you aware, where are my shoulders? Where do they reside? They really don't reside up here. Not naturally. And then we can't naturally breathe with ease, you see? So you start to recognize these things. And you're like, wow, when I really take everything out of alignment, I also have to work harder to breathe. And I'm hurting as a result. Now you're taking your arms shoulder level. And you're going to cross the right arm underneath the left. Now you're going to bend the elbows. And you're going to pick your arms up. But you're going to consciously move your shoulders back. Very good, very good. Feel your tailbone drop down too. Now, press the forearms away from your face. Keep your shoulders on your back though. Now just exhale, release the arms. Sweep up. The next exhalation, you wrap mindfully the left arm underneath the right. But you bring your focus to your shoulder heads. And if they're higher, then you know you're going to have to work harder in the pose because you're going to have to work harder to breathe. Now, elbows lifts, shoulders press back. Find your tailbone, lengthen it down so the spine says, yeah, I'm evened out. Press the arms away from your face, and if the shoulders are too tight, you can always take opposite hand to opposite shoulder. But keep pressing the mid-back to the driveway. Arms away from you. Now release. Long breath in, sweeps the arms up. Now hands on the hips. Bend your knees. Right thigh lifts up, right foot lifts up and squeezes on top of your left. Toes of the right foot can be outside the left ankle. Just your hands stay on your hips, but then hug your elbows towards your sides. And look for the thighs to be really strong. You want pillars of strength in your legs. Your legs as a strong foundation will make the spine feel a little safer. Integrity through the lower body brings ease to the upper body. Stabilization relaxes the spine, relaxes the mind. Now release. Use the arms, sweep up, breath in. Out breath brings the hands to your own hips. Elbows squeeze to the sides of your body. Left leg is going to lift up. The toes can rest outside the right foot. Stay with your breathing. And your eyes eye level. But your jaw soft. Thighs squeeze. You start to recognize, wow, my legs really activate them. So muscle action in the lower body. Tailbone just softens down toward the bottom heel. Spine says, I want to lift up, up, and away from the hips. And the elbows hug to the sides of your body so that you stay with your action going in toward midline. Nice, Jim. Release. Now let's put it all together. Right side. Long breath in. Arms reach. Wrap up the right side with the right leg and the arm. Get stable first. Lower body as your foundation. Then wrap up the upper body. Spine is long. And just look to keep your belly button aimed to the front of the room, centered. And then where the breath go. The more you fuel the breath, stronger the balance, because the balance comes from mind. Bend the bottom knee till it can't go anymore. And in breath, release. Left side, go for it. Eyes land, eye level. Jaw is chill. Eye gaze has direction. Boom, eye level straight ahead of you. But relax the muscles around the eyes. While the thighs, they really just plug in. Spine is tall. Come out of the pose on a soft exhalation. Now, interlace your fingers right over your head. But don't worry about what's going on up top. Get rooted in your feet. Feet press into the floor. Thighs say, I'm going to lift up off the knees. Tailbone says, I'm going to drop a notch. Now, from that lower body power, feel how the spine just got lifted. The inhale made you taller, made you longer. And then you're pressing through the palms. But it's lower body foundation. So plant your roots, and then you rise even more. And bring the hands slowly right to the heart through the exhalation. Very good. Tree pose. Right foot to the inner left ankle. Palms meet right at the heart. I'd probably take the hands a little lower, because again, it's that action of really practicing bringing the posture back to its natural organic alignment. Shoulders, they don't mind moving out of the way for the lungs to get some more air. And let the exhale soften out. Interlace your fingers right over your head. If you wanted, you could lift your gaze and look straight ahead, up above you. And then release the pose. Other side. Long breath in. clear it all out and move to the other side. The physical balance poses is a practice that's going to retrain the body to find symmetry. If we're right-handed, right-sided, our strength is very dominant on that side, and it creates imbalance for the left, or vice versa. Interlace your fingers, press straight up. Elbows squeeze to the sides of your head, shoulder blades hug to the mid-spine. Draw the arms back. And release. Great work. Okay. Sweep up. Hands to the heart. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Use your out breath to slowly step to plank position. Mindful. Use your out breath to lower you. Use your in breath to lift you. Use your out breath. Good. Right foot steps forward. Back foot presses flat. In breath, warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. Your outer edge, the border of your back foot is the outer edge. Press it like it's against a wall. Back leg straight. Inner thigh hugs to the outer thigh. Nice. Now, feel your left hip slightly draw back. And your left shoulder head slightly draw back. Now, straighten your right leg. Take your left arm around you. Flip the right arm to face you and reverse your warrior. And as you reverse the warrior, you're taking your backhand to gently draw that right hip buttock down out of the low back. Good. And as you reverse your warrior, use your exhalation to go back. And then I want you to cartwheel to the floor. Hands meet the floor. Now hold. Turn your back toes to face the front of the room. Pull the belly in. Step back through that foot. High plank. Low plank. Upward. Downward. Left foot, warrior one. Bring yourself, the out breath moves you to warrior two. And then feel the border of that back foot press down. So actually just find the center of your back heel, press it into the floor. And press the front heel straight through the floor while the left knee presses open. Eyes are on the left middle finger. And now the left leg straightens. The right arm wraps around your back. You take your left arm towards your face. You lengthen through the fingertips. You reach up. You use your out breath to go back. One more breath in that really stretches through the left side. Use your exhalation to come to plank position. Feel the back foot spin forward, then step back, high to low, upward dog, downward facing. Gently take your knees to the floor. Take your front edge of your mat, fold it over a bunch of times. And bring your knees right to it. You come right on up. You find where the tailbone tilts down. You can come onto the balls of your feet. But then right away, feel your inner thighs try to squeeze toward each other. Press the hips and thighs forward. But you really want to find that internal plugging in of the thighs. And as the hips and thighs press forward, the chest then lifts, kind of waterfalls back. You can grab the heels of your feet. And usually what happens is as we bend back, that's when the hips start being pulled back. So get mindful, your hips over your knees. So press your hips, yeah. Shoulder blades, squeeze the mid-spine. If you squeeze the shoulder blades to the mid-spine, the whole front wall of your chest opens right up for you. And then come out of the pose through an exhalation. Bring your hips right to your heels for a minute. And rest your palms flat right on your thighs. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes and just kind of drop in. It is that stronger ocean wave breathing that allows you to drop in underneath the surface chatter, the mental merry-go-round, fearful thoughts, stressful thoughts, angry thoughts, worry, self-critic. So we breathe in and breathe out so we can go underneath those layers where we just typically reside day in and day out, and we become unconscious to it, and the breathing gets you awake and aware. And it also gives you access to more calm, more focus, more peace. That's also wired in you as well as me. Bring yourself back up into one more camel. It's your breathing that's going to give you a mindfulness to the way you come into these poses, the way you are when you're in them. See, the breathing just makes you just really see from an inner sight. See by the way it feels. And you let that lead your practice. Hips go forward, inner thighs squeezing. Thighs and hips press forward like they're pressing against a brick wall. Chest gets lifted before bending back. And if you're comfortable, the head can go back. And if you're not comfortable, then keep the chin to the chest. Hips and thighs press forward. Really good. Hips and thighs a little more forward, Jim. And maybe you don't bend back as much, and that's okay. And then come out of the pose. Go ahead, make your way out onto your back again. Unroll your mat. Get your feet planted directly underneath your knees, hip width apart. Exhale all you have, mouth wide open. Next breath in, your feet root down, your hips lift up, your low back lengthens toward the front of the room. Then you can squeeze the shoulder blades into the mid-spine. You can interlace your fingers underneath you. And if you can, straighten the arms. Try to just stretch a little bit your knuckles towards your heels. The heart presses into the chin. The thighs squeeze. Find that muscle action again. The back feels safer if there's power in the legs. If the legs are floppy and just kind of like limp noodles, then the back bend is kind of held up too, because the spine says, I'm going to do this if I feel safe. So I need a foundation of support underneath me. Exhale down. Fat breath in. Fat breath out. Fat with a PH, of course. Take your hips high by planting your feet down. Let your heart get lifted by feeling the shoulders and arms press into the floor. Whatever pose you're in, slow breath in, slower breath out. Slowing the exhales down, settles the heart rate, settles the mind. Exhale to the floor. Big inhale, big air out. Last bridge, and if you'd like a variation, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, but press the right knee. If you take that variation, press the knee and thigh open. Upper foot flex so that you really support your right knee. Hips go up in the air by you pushing the bottom foot down. And if you wanted to tone the left thigh a little more, you could come onto the ball of your bottom foot and really anchor down. Exhale softly. And take the other side if you haven't. And it's a conscious action, pressing that left side open. Not because you bullied it, but because you allowed through the exhalation. Exhale down. Widen your feet out away from one another. Allow your knees to just kind of collapse toward each other. Full breath in and full breath out. This is a great way to neutralize the spine from the camel and the bridge poses, back bending work that we just did. Neutralizing is so important. Typically for our mind, it's drive, overdrive. Okay. Hug your knees into your chest. Exhale out. Cross your right thigh right over your left thigh. Right arm underneath the left. So really eagle pose on your back. And you're going to exhale everything you have. In with the breath. Lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Chin to your chest. Squeeze. Elbows to knees. Knees to elbows. Inhale, separate. Exhale, pull together. Chin tucks in. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the belly to the floor. In. Out. In. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as you come up. That's it. In. Out. In. Out. In breath is where you have space. Exhale is when you're squeezing. Switch sides. Get all your air out. The inhale comes in. There's space. And then squeeze it again. Space. Squeeze. Space to breathe in. Squeeze. Space to take in. Squeeze. Space to take it in. Squeeze. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Release. Oh, okay, good. Now go ahead and you're going to take bicycles. So take the hands behind the head. Bring your ankles to line with your knees. The right elbow squeezes to the left thigh. So really get the exhale out to take a deeper twist. Breathe out deeper, side to side. 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34. You're going to make this. 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. Press the feet flat like you're pushing them through mud. 26, 27. Don't let the knees go past the waistband though. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Good, you guys. 9, 8, 7, 6. You can do this. You can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees to your chest. Breathe in a toned sense of accomplishment. Rock side to side. Roll all the way onto your right side. Press your palms to the floor. Bring yourself up to seated. Find your way to a very mindful down dog. So don't just press back into down dog because you know the drill. Get really conscious of your movements. So slow them down. Really good. Feel what this down dog feels like compared to your initial one. Has there been a shift? A little bit of a shift to feel a little better, a little more stretched out. Yeah? Okay. Very good. It's good to know, like, there's a payoff to this, right? Lift your heels really high. Exhale them down. Lift your heels and hips high. Swing them to the right. Lift them high. Hips left. Take your right leg in the air. Come back to center. Right leg in the air. And lunge forward. Your back knees coming down. The top of your back foot rests. You start walking the right foot over. So the knee and the shin lower to the floor. The right butt cheek comes to the floor. And that's where you can put a block right underneath your right buttock. And you want to pay attention to where your front leg is. If you're really tight, it's going to be a struggle to be parallel with the knee and the shin. So if you're very tight, keep the right heel in toward the left hip. Now, sit up nice and tall with a breath in. Very good. Peel the right hip back. And then use your out breath to fold forward. If you wanted, you could fold right over your front knee. Or you could fold more to the middle. And if you can, just rest your forehead on the floor. Or take the other block and put your forehead under it. And stretch your arms out. Try as much as you can to just give everything over to the breathing. You're in the pose so you can get the attention where the right side needs it. The mind will resist this if there's a lot of discomfort. See, that's why there's the method to the madness. I wouldn't put you in pigeon right off the bat. You're just not open to it. So every breath and every movement led you to this mothership pose. Opening up the hips. The hips are the mothership of all the poses. And your whole access to free range of motion, mobility, space. So you brought yourself to this place. And you must have your breath with you as a tool. As an ally, really. This slow breath in and out soothes, softens the mind. Otherwise, poses like this where you're really, really tight can really feel like, I don't know, like the dark forest of the Wizard of Oz. And you'd probably wish for a flying monkey right about now to come in and cart you away. But then you would just be brought back here again another time. So drop into your breathing. Keep letting the exhales pass through, because that's how you soften the physical tension. Breathe everything you have out. Open your mouth wide, clear it. Really, really great. Back toes curl under. Slide the palms forward. So you get your palms under your shoulders. More leverage. Now push off your palms and your back foot. Take that leg up and out. And you could take the left knee to the floor and kind of take a downward puppy with that right knee bending and opening up. Or you could be in down dog where the upper leg goes straight up and then bends and opens from there. Roll the hip down. Left side, take the left leg high. Swing it mindfully forward. Bring the back knee softly down. Top of the back foot rests. Land the left leg down. Draw the left hip back just slightly. And you'll feel the right hip start to soften down toward the floor. That'll start to bring the hips more into alignment, by the way. But you got to let that whole left side just surrender. You got to be willing to give up. Because the truth is gripping and holding on for dear life. When the musculature tension is there, then it puts a grip in the mind. As you soften the grip from the muscular tension, you ease the mind. There is no separation. And it's the breathing that will bridge the gap between mind and body. You want to sync up the mind and the body. You want to create a gap between your thoughts. You do need stillness, you do need silence to bring more balance to the noise, to the movement, to all the stimulation. Follow your rhythm of your own inhalation. Follow the rhythm of your own out-breath. Your breath is your teacher. Having yoga as an access to decompress from our posture habits, long-standing. From all the sitting we do and the time in the car, just all the time on our butt. Whether in a professional setting, with an office chair. And so the yoga is just a way to decompress from all of that. The physical benefits are so there. Blood flow, circulation, movement. Will allow you to go the distance, literally, but actually. Freedom for the spine, the low back, as we open up the hips. You thaw out one area that's really rigid, it softens it all. Soothing breath in. Easy does it breath out. Soothing breath in as a source of power to empower you to stay in the pose. Soothing breath out. Back toes curl under. Palms slide back, right under the shoulders. Get rooted through the palms into the floor and the ball of the back foot to push off of them and push you up and out. Left leg high, whether on the right knee or in down dog. Lift the knee a little higher in down dog or in downward puppy. And then roll the knee and hip open like they're one, while the upper foot presses like it's against earth. Really good job. Roll your hip down. Land your foot to the ground. Make your way out onto your butt. Legs will be stretched right out in front of you. Slide the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Arms reach up. Keep your left knees bent as you need to, though. Fold through the exhalation, leading you to the fold. Knee can be bent, but press through the heel of the left foot while you draw the toes gently back towards your shin. Please lift up halfway. Long breath in to keep the spine long. Fold through a softened exhalation. In with the breath, keeps elongating the spine organically. And you release it all. Press out through the left heel, though. Follow your exhale to the very bottom floor. And you'll realize that's what took you a little deeper into the fold. Then come on up slowly, switch sides. Press the sole of the right foot to the thigh. Sweep up. Keep breathing in to get taller. Use your exhale to fold in. Not with a dominating force, but by allowing. By giving up the exhalation fully. Inhale on up. Both legs straight out in front of you. You can bend the knees. You can also take the legs apart. Sweep up. Press your hips right to the floor though. Fold. Grab whatever you can. And that's what you want. You want to comfortably grab somewhere on your leg. You have to get a feel for where your body says, here's where you're going tonight. And that's all you do. And that unfolds your next practice. Being present to this one. To go deeper, you don't push yourself down. You soften the exhalation. And there's your flexibility you had as a high school athlete. Everything lost can be found again. The muscles get shorter as they get tighter. That's it. You never needed to be able to reach your toes to be allowed in the door. That's an ego-driven thing we somehow just bought into, I guess. When we think yoga, flexibility. No, dissolve the walls of your own mind. Think about whatever you used to think, whatever you've been told to think, and think for yourself. Bring yourself upright. Make your way slowly onto your back. Lengthen your toes to the front of the room. Extend your arms away from your body. Lengthen the fingertips. If you wanted to finish out with a reclining twist on the right side and left, feel free. If you feel like your back really got ironed out so that you can rest comfortably on the floor, then call it good. Be a witness to your breathing doing itself. Recognize organically on the inhalation, everything rises and everything falls. Exhale as you draw your knees into your chest. And gently rock side to side like you did when you got started. Roll all the way onto your right side. Lift up your head and make a pillow for your head with your arms or a block. Reading you a little piece called Werner Herzog Chimes In. I have a friend in Italy who's an independent filmmaker, and many years ago, back when he was an angry young man, he wrote a letter to his hero, the great German director Werner Herzog. My friend poured his heart out in this letter, complaining to Herzog about how badly his career was going, how nobody liked his movies, how difficult it had been to make films in a world where nobody cared, and everything was so expensive. There's no funding for the arts, public tastes have run to the vulgar and the commercial. Now, if he'd been looking for sympathy, my friend had gone to the wrong place. Why anyone would ever turn to Werner Herzog, of all people, for a warm shoulder to cry on is beyond me. But Herzog wrote my friend a long reply, a ferocious challenge, in which he basically said, more or less, quit your complaining. It's not the world's fault you wanted to be an artist. It's not the world's job to enjoy the films you make. And it is not the world's obligation to pay for your dreams. Nobody wants to hear it. Steal a camera if you must. Quit your whining and get back to work. My friend framed the letter and hung it over his desk, as well he should have, because while Herzog's admonition might seem like a rebuke, it wasn't. It was a genuine attempt at liberation. It's a mighty act of human love to remind somebody that they can accomplish things by themselves. The world doesn't automatically owe them a reward for doing so, and that they are not weak and hobbled as they want to believe. Such reminders can seem blunt, and usually we don't want to hear them. But it's a simple question of self-respect at play. There is something magnificent about encouraging someone to step forward into his own self-respect at last, especially when it comes to creating something brave and new. That letter, in other words, it was my friend's permission slip, and he got back to work. Breath in, free and clear. Bring yourself up to seated. Fingertips to the floor behind you. Press the floor away from you. Shoulder blades squeeze in, chest pressing up. Hands right to the heart. Just close your eyes and scan where you are. Because wherever you go, there you are. Namaste. Wonderful work. You're welcome. Great job, Joe. Yeah, you did great.